Jai. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. I welcome you all to Bhakti Sangha Japa conference call for today's mid-morning session. Thank you all so much for joining. This is Shivani from Ashburn, Virginia. Let us move to the next part of the session. Today's class will be given by His Grace Radha Pramod Prabhuji on Sri Caitanya Bhagavata-Antya Khanda 6.36 to verse 67. May I know all have joined this morning?
Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga and all the assembled devotees. This is Yashamati Priya Devi Dasi from Chicago.
Hare Krishna, Yashamati Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Gauranga ki jai. Thank you so much for joining and giving a beautiful association this morning, Mataji. All glories to your services. Welcome to the call. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Yashamati Mataji, please accept. Hare Krishna, Shivani Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. This is Vinita Gandharvika Devdasi from College Station, Texas.
Hare Krishna, Vinita Gandharvika Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Gauranga ki jai. All glories to your services, Mataji. Thank you for giving a beautiful association this morning. Welcome to the call. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Shivani Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Guru Maharaj, and all glories to all the assembled devotees on the call. This is Harita from Texas, Mataji. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavata.
Hare Krishna, Harita Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Gauranga ki jai. All glories to your services, Mataji. Thank you for joining, giving a beautiful association this morning. Welcome to the call. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, please accept my humble obeisances. Radha Pramod Prabhuji. I would like to read Srila Prabhupadaji's quote before I hand over the call to you. Welcome to the call, Prabhu. Okay. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Today we are very fortunate to have His Grace Radha Pramod Prabhuji. I would like to read the quote of Srila Prabhupada before I hand over the call to Prabhuji. In the transcendental loving service of the Lord, it doesn't matter whether we are working, cooking, painting, writing, chanting, or whatever. They are all the same. There are no such distinction or higher and lower on the transcendental platform. The important thing is that we are engaging our time and energy in the service of the Lord. After all, we are so tiny. What can we do? Krishna says simply that this time has been being spent in his service. Letter to Karuna Mai Mataji, February 25th, 1968. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Today we are very fortunate to have His Grace Radha Pramod Prabhuji to enlighten us on Sri Caitanya Bhagavata-Antya Khanda, verse 6.36 to verse 67. Hare Krishna, please accept my humble obeisances, Radha Pramod Prabhuji. Thank you for giving us your valuable time and association this morning. Very happy to have you on the call and waiting eagerly to hear from you. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Gauranga ki jai. And now I hand over the call to you. Please take over, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंद जय द्वैत चंद्र जय गौरभक्त वृंद
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
जय जय श्री चैतन्य.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Sorry to interrupt you. There's a lot of disturbance coming. There's a lot of disturbance. Now it's gone.
It is because of my laptop. No, it's not me.
No, sorry. No worries, Prabhu. Sorry. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, you have to tolerate the sound. It's all quiet here, but the laptop is having some noise. Please tolerate it. I was worried whether I am taking the right verse or not. You can just check this and let me know.
Yes, Prabhu, you're correct. It's right words.
Okay, thank you. Just a minute, I'll share again. जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंद जय द्वैत चंद्र जय गौरभक्तवृंद जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंद जय द्वैत चंद्र जय गौरभक्तवृंद. So here we are discussing Chaitanya Bhagavat. I will read the verses for you. So just give me. Just give me a second. Yes. So here भागवता हैते ये सब तत्व जानी ताह ताहो यदि वैष्णव गुरुरा मुखे सुनी. All these truths can be known from Srimad Bhagavatam if one hears from the mouth of a Vaishnava Guru. Mahantare acharana hasile ye haya chitta dushana bhagavate yeikaya. Now hear attentively what Srimad Bhagavatam says about what happens to a person who laughs at the behavior of a devotee. एककाले रामकृष्ण गेले पंडिते विद्या पूर्ण करी चित्त करिला आसिते. Once Krishna and Balram went to studies. After finishing their studies, they decided to return. Ki dakshina dibe balina guru patni tabe patni sange guru karila yakaran yukti. Then asked their guru, what dakshina should we give? Their guru then consulted with his wife. Mritaputra magilena Ramakrishna sthane tabe Ramakrishna gela yama vidyamane. When he asked Krishna and Balram to bring back his dead sons, they went straight to the abode of Yamaraj. Ajnaya Sishura Sarva Karma Guchaye Yamala Haite Putra Dilaina Aniya. On their order, the child was delivered from the reactions of his karma. They then brought the child from the abode of Yamaraj and returned him to their spiritual master. This is from Bhagavatam, 10th canto, 45th chapter. Paramadbhuta suni ye sabha akhyana Devaki o mangile mrutaputra dana. When Devaki heard about this wonderful incident, she also asked them to return her dead sons. Devaki eka dina Rama Krishne sambodhi ya kahe na Devaki ati katarahaya. By the arrangement of providence, Devaki one day spoke in great affection to Balram and Krishna. Suna suna Rama Krishna Yogeshwareshwara Tumi dui adi nitya suddha kalevara. Listen, Rama and Krishna, best of the topmost mystic yogis. Your bodies are primeval, eternal and pure. Sarva jagatera pita tumi dui jana Monir jnanai tumi dui Paramakarana. You two are the fathers of all universes. I know you two are the cause of all causes. Jagatera utpatti sthiti va paradaya Tomara amshera amsha haite sabahaya. The creation, maintenance and annihilation of the universe is carried out by the portion of your plenary portions. Tattapiha tat prithvi ira khanda ite bara hayacha mora putra rupa avatara. Yet you have personally appeared as my sons to diminish the burden of the earth. Yama grihe haye haite yena gururanandana anina dekshina dile tumi duijana. You two brought the sons of your spiritual master from the abode of Yamaraj as dakshina for your guru. Mora chaya putra ye marila kshama kamsha haite bada chitta hayataha savare e dekhite. I am anxious to see my 6 sons were killed by Kamsa. Patakale Guru Putra Chilam Maria Tahayena Ani Dakshini Prakashia. Although your Guru's sons brought him back. I have a little internet issue. I'm really sorry for that. I apologize. Matra, although your Guru's son have been dead for some time, by your potency you brought him back. Mata amare okara purna kama ani dekhi mora mritya chaya putradana. In the same way, you can fulfill my desire by bringing back my dead sons. Suni janaira vakhya Krishna sankarshana Sei Krishna chali gela balira bhavana. After hearing the words of their mother, Krishna and Sankarshan immediately went to the abode of Bali. Nija ishta deva dekhi Bali Maharaja Mangala haile Paramananda Sindhu Majaya. When Bali Maharaj saw his worshipable Lord, he was merged in ocean of ecstatic love. Grihe putra deki vitta shakala bandava Sei Krishna pada padme ani dila sabha. He immediately surrendered his house, children, body, wealth and associates at the lotus feet of the Lord. Loma harsha asrupada Pulaka anande stuti kara pada padma dhari bali kande. Bali's hair stood on end and tears flowed from his eyes as he grabbed hold of their lotus feet and offered prayers in ecstasy. Jaya Jaya Ananta Prakata Sankarshana Jaya Jaya Krishna Chandra Gokula Bhushana, all glories to Ananta, who has appeared as Sankarshana, all glories to Krishna Chanda, the ornament of Gokula. Jaya Sakya Gopacharya Haladhara Rama, Jaya Jaya Krishna Bhakta Dhanamana Prana, all glories to Haladhara Ram, who is friend and leader of the cowherd boys, all glories to Krishna, the wealth, life and soul of the devotees. So there is no purport, but the topic of this is Vaishnava Aparadh. So I thought I will speak on that topic little bit. The psychology, what exactly happens if somebody is, if Vaishnavas are insulted. So I wanted to discuss it because this topic is going to be like you are laughing at a Vaishnava and what are the consequences that are going to happen. So I thought I will just take that aspect. So the nature of aparadh. So we'll see something we can try to discuss. So whatever I understand, I will try to share with you. So first is the offenses against Vaishnavas. So what must be done to become free from them? The immediate here we'll try to understand from Bhakti Sandarbha, which establishes the extraordinary power of Bhakti as a fundamental understanding why offences on the path carry such grave consequences. So the fundamental nature of God is a person. So God is a personality, not an impersonal force. So here the foundational position of a Vaishnava philosophy is God is not an abstract impersonal Brahman. This is not merely a theological claim. It is a profound practical implication how we live. So we are all personalities because God is a person. We are created in His image and likeness, both external form also and internal nature also. So an impersonal God would have no preferences. Living with such a concept is easy. There is nothing to please or displease. But when it comes to a person, it all actually God likes certain things, He does not like certain things, He demands adaptation from us. So all these things happen. Now here the important concept I wanted to explain, that why these offenses happen and what is the reason. So I am starting little story long, but it will help slowly I'll understand. So now first is we understood God is a person, not an impersonal force. So He has preferences, likes and dislikes. So second thing understanding is there are demands of personal relationships. So Lord is also interested. Relationship whether with God or any person requires one party to understand and honor the preferences of the other party. So the failure to do so erodes trust and causes suffering. It is clear. Now it destroys relationship. Distress settles in the heart if you are not understanding the preferences of other person. Then what happens when trust is present? People are open for each other. When it is destroyed, the heart, it is slams and shuts. So the same dynamic governs the relation between Lord and living entity also. So it should be based on preferences what Lord wants, and accordingly we should act so that it develop the trust and it does not cause any suffering for us. Now who must adopt in relationship, whether God should adopt or we should adopt? So obviously we should adopt according to the Lord. So in any year there must be clarity about our consciousness, about whose consciousness prevails. So like in Vedic understanding, hierarchy is clearly established, and the living being must adopt what Lord wants, Krishna wants, not the vice versa, not the reverse. Like it is obvious for those who have preserved some brain, it should be adopted that I should adopt to God, not to God must adopt to me. Like children should do according to parents what, because their consciousness is bigger. If parents are doing what children want, it will be problem for both of them. Now we will try to understand relationship, how we do it. That is through the process of bhakti. And what type of bhakti? This is pure devotional bhakti. Anyabhilashita shunyam jnana karma dhanavrata bhakti. Right? So anukulyena krishnanushilanam. If you remember the definition of uttama bhakti, anyabhilashita shunyam jnana karma dhanavrtam anukulyena. That means we have to act in a way that is favorable to Krishna, doing that what is pleasing to him. So this is the essence of all Vedic scriptures and all sacred scriptures across traditions. Now the goal in the Krishna consciousness is, like Prabhupada named this movement as International Society for Krishna Consciousness. That means what we should be conscious, there is a deep meaning in the name. The goal is not merely awareness of Krishna, awareness of Krishna's existence, but actual attainment of Krishna's own consciousness. That means we have to adopt according to what Krishna wants, that type of consciousness. It is not that okay, he is there, I know that he is there. No, you have to have a consciousness like him. That means you should like what he likes, you should do what he likes, like that. So all the consciousness now experience leads to birth, death, old age and disease, the cycle of samsara. Now presently our consciousness is stuck. This type of consciousness will keep us in cycle of birth, death, old age and disease. But Krishna sends suffering precisely to inspire human beings to seek a higher level of consciousness. Animals largely, they depend and largely do not suffer from depressions of insomnia. They uniquely, this is actually for human beings only. This unique facility is given to humans. Suffering is meant to push towards evolution. So Einstein's definition of insanity says doing the same thing repeatedly while expecting different results. This is what Einstein tells. That means doing the same thing with the same level of consciousness, it means. So the entire world is insane in this sense because they are solving the problems at the same level of consciousness they have created. Right? So I'm trying to till now it is clear, hopefully. Now we will try to understand. Now we have to have a consciousness which is highest, that is unity with Krishna, but not oneness with Krishna like Mayavadis. The highest idea of bhakti is not a dry intellectual surrender, but a complete unity of love, where the line between the devotee and the beloved disappears entirely. That means we are just in union with love, whatever Lords we are doing. So this is not a Mayavadi interpretation. The soul always remains a tiny conditioned soul, but the love eliminates the sense of separation. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna in the mood of Radharani, the merger of two highest forms of divine love. So Sarudamodar Goswami explained, this is Advaita, the book called Advaita Charita. So Goloka Vrindavan is the highest spiritual abode, is a realm of nothing but love, beauty and mercy, and it is actually not a distinct geographical location. It is a state of consciousness where we have to enter. So spiritual world is not a geographical concept. It can be here, like Prabhupada was walking in America, devotees were taking and they were going through the streets were not very good, so they apologized with Prabhupada. Prabhupada said, no, Vaikunta. So Prabhupada could experience Vaikunta in such situations. That means it's a state of consciousness. The holy Dham, Vrindavan, it's not merely a replica of spiritual world. It is the spiritual world manifest on earth. It is directly spiritual world. Like, say now you all have Zoom. Now I am sitting at one place in India and you are having access to this, the Zoom. That means you are able to see what is happening here, like cricket is happening. People are watching here, there, everywhere. So they are able to get that experience of cricket wherever they are. So similarly, spiritual world can manifest like that fully. It is not a replica, it is directly what is happening there. So hope till now it is clear with all of you. Now we will try to come to, I am coming to the point of offense, but I am trying to bring you from a long distance to that point. Now we will come to Shraddha, faith. It is the gateway to this. So first what we understood, Lord is a person, he has preferences, right? And then we discussed that relationship demands demand of personal relationship. So for that we have to go according to the preferences, and we must adopt to God, not God should adopt to us. Even though he also want relationship, but is not going to adopt, we should adopt. And then we discussed the word in pure devotional service, Anukulyena Krishna Arshun. It should be in favor to Krishna. Now, what is the goal in Krishna consciousness? Krishna consciousness is the goal. Not that awareness of Krishna, but developing the consciousness of Krishna. If we don't develop the consciousness of Krishna, what will happen? We start a repetition of birth and death will happen. But if you develop the consciousness of Krishna, then we are in the spiritual world. So this is the highest state of unity, not Mayavadi way, but unity in the sense how Srimati Radharani is one with Krishna in terms of her all consciousness. So this is Golok Vrindavan, and Vrindavan is a state of consciousness. Now we will try to come to the Shraddha. So this is the gateway to pure bhakti. So faith in bhakti is different from blind religious dogmatism. A critical distinction must be understood. Bhakti does not require faith to act. Like fire, it burns whether one believes it or not. The holy name acts on consciousness regardless of belief. So bhakti don't even need faith. But faith is required to practice pure bhakti. Only pure bhakti delivers all the scriptural promises. That's why. So faith functions like a magnifying glass. It collects scattered consciousness and focuses it on one goal. So faith is our understanding, is faith in the path, absolute confidence that this road will lead me where I need to go. So that's Yamunacharya's very famous shloka. Bhavam stat anucharan nirantaram prasanta nishtesha manorathantaram kada aham aikantika nitya kinkaram prasharshayasyami sanata jeevitam. He says, Bhavan stat anucharam nirantaram. I am always your servant. No matter what I present to be, in reality I am always serving someone. So the question is whom I am serving. Whether I am serving my senses, mind, or some people, family, or Supreme Lord. Prashanta Nishesha Manoratantara means when all material desires have finally quieted down in my heart, After endless seeking, a person is finally disappointed enough to stop. So Prashanta Nishesha, now I will become Prashant. I don't want any more struggle and any more trying to squeeze out something which is not needed. And Kadaham Aikanta Nitya Kinkara. When will I become your eternal servant and not forced service but joyful, single pointed service without other aim? And praharshayishyami sanata jivitam. I will rejoice having found my master, the joy of a jiva who has found its own owner. So this is what Yamunacharya says. So the faith is needed to practice pure devotional service. So now we'll try to understand the faith versus ego. So here it's not a dogmatic acceptance. It is properly based on Shastras. So the primary obstacle of faith is ego only. Faith in Shastras means surrendering the right to personally judge what is correct in scriptures, which ego resists fiercely. So, like say, now I am deciding what is right, what is wrong. But faith in Shastra means Shastra will decide what is right, what is wrong. Now it is very troubling to me. Somebody else is deciding for me and that too Shastra is deciding. So that we don't want to accept. No. Why somebody else? I will decide. No, we let Shastra decide. That's why anything is there, we actually refer to Shastra. We say, yes, this is what Shastra wants and let it happen in that way. So here the point is, but ego comes to its senses and resumes its work, finding, so initial contact with Krishna consciousness often brings a beautiful moment of natural humility, and that time the ego is stunned. But slowly ego comes to its senses. Ego says, it starts resuming the work. And then it starts finding contradictions in scriptures, criticizing devotees, demanding the right to judge. So the ego is an enemy of faith. It is an enemy of our ability to follow the spiritual path. So it always finds why Shastra is telling all contradictions and then criticizing of devotees and demanding the right. Now the Guru is a living Shastra, not a cult of personality, right? So the scriptural teachings is to be honored not as a fascinating personality. Spiritual teacher is honored not as a fascinating personality, but a living embodiment of holy scriptures. So that's why Sakshadharitvena and Guru Mukha Padhya Padma Vakya Chittete Koryakya. So let my consciousness merge with the words emanating from the lotus mouth of my spiritual teacher. So the Guru's value lies entirely in his having aligned his own consciousness with Shastras and his ability to transmit that alignment. Clear? So worshipping a Guru merely becomes one likes him in his form of idolatry. So now we'll try to understand the extraordinary power of bhakti, and from bhakti to, so further we'll try to understand different levels. So Jiva Goswami tells from Bhakti Sandarbha the extraordinary power of bhakti. So he establishes the incomprehensible power of bhakti. So he gives the 3 ascending levels of bhakti. Level 1 is the Sakrat Eka. The scriptures repeatedly declare that a single genuine contact with bhakti, even accidentally, is sufficient for liberation. So this is from Srimad Bhagavatam. Apanna samsritim ghoram yannama visho grinan ततस्सद्यो विमुच्येत यद्भिबेति स्वयं भयम्. So even accidentally is sufficient for liberation. Apanna samsritim ghora. So one who is trapped in the terrible samsara and accidentally ennama vivasho grinan. One time he just chanted, even uttered the holy name, even involuntarily, is immediately sadhyo, liberated. Even death is afraid of the ed bhibeti swayam bhayam. Death is afraid of holy name. And then he says that Ayur harati vaipumsam uddhyannastam channasu. The rising and setting of the sun steals the life of all people. So it is already set here. So it reduced our life. It is going to happen after few hours in there also. Except for one who spent even a single moment hearing something about Krishna. Ayurharati vaipumsam uddhyannastam channaso tasyarte kshununita uttama shloka vartaya. So you do not need to sit through long lectures. Hearing even one moment about Krishna is sufficient to exempt that time from being stolen by death. And in Ramayana, Yuddha Khanda, it is said, Sakrit eva prapannoyam avasmi cha yachate abhayam sarvada tasmai dadami etat vratam mama. This is actually what Lord Ram tells about surrendering. Lord Ram's solemn voice says, if someone approaches me even once and sincerely says, I am yours, I will protect that person from all dangers forever. This is my eternal promise. So this is now indirect contact is also sufficient with bhakti. So bhakti is so powerful. Bhakti's power extends beyond direct practice. So Jiva Goswami established a chain of transmission. I think I will. I am sorry. I am not sharing the notes. So, one who practices bhakti is saved. One who merely contacts a practitioner bhakti is also saved. One who contacts the contact of a practitioner is also saved. And even 3 degrees of separation from direct bhakti is also sufficient. So the scriptural parallel, if someone properly installs a deity of Krishna in a temple, all his ancestors and descendants for the entire span of Brahma's day are liberated. So this is what Yamaraj instructs his message. Do not touch the 98,000th generation of descendant of a pure devotee. So the logic is bhakti is Lord's internal energy like fire. The iron rod heated in fire also burns. So as does anything touched by the rod. So the Lord's internal energy transmits through genuine contact without diminishing. Right? So the third level is, so this is 3 levels of bhakti. So first is, level 1 is sakrit. Even once finish, you are liberated. Indirect contact also bhakti, liberated. And even the shadow of bhakti can save you. So beyond direct and indirect contact, Srila Jiva Goswami established that even a pale likeness of accidental resemblance of bhakti carries saving power. So there is a story of 2 drunkards and they entered a temple intending to play. In their drunken state, they donned rags and ran around the temple, flapping like cuckoos. And Krishna accepted this as devotional waving of flags in his honor and granted them benefit. And then man of a man quarreled bitterly with his lover. Overcome with grief, he wandered into a forest and accidentally spent Narsim Chaturdasi inside an abandoned Narsimha temple, neither eating nor sleeping. So Krishna accepted this grief driven fast as devotional observation. And then we know this famous story, mouse and a lamb. Mouse living in a temple stole oil from the lamp burning before the deity, and when the burning wick got stuck to to its teeth, she leaped down in pain. And Krishna interpreted this as the mouse performing arti. In the next life, she was born as a queen with a natural devotional tendency, and in the life after that, she returned to Vaikuntha. So now level 4 is even offense that resembles bhakti can save. So Jiva Goswami further pushes even further. He pushes further and says, not even bhakti per se is required, but even an insult, aparada, that accidentally resembled in the form of bhakti can save. So he gives the example. So there was a demon attacked a Brahmana who was protected by a Vishnu mantra armor, mantra kavacha. As the Brahman defended himself by chanting Vishnu's name, the sound reached the demon's ears. Upon hearing the holy name, even in that offensive context, these demons suddenly experienced noble thought, lost all the desire to harm the Brahmana, and renounced his demonic propensity. When he was killing a Brahmana chanted, and he said, he heard the name changed. So this is a key pivotal point of, so if even an insult that has the form of bhakti can save, so then how catastrophic must an offense against bhakti be? So this set us the entire discussion of Vaishnava Parad. So now we heard how great is bhakti, how great is a devotee. At 4 different levels we heard. So what are the 4 things on Bhakti Sandarbha? Very interesting things. How great is bhakti, and that means how great should be a bhakti. Even one time somebody chanted the holy name is getting liberated. Indirect contact also is making a person saved, and even a shadow of bhakti, it can be saved. Not only that, even somebody with offense, he heard the holy name from a pure devotee, he is also changed. That means how bhakti is powerful. Now, and what is the speciality of a bhakta? So Lord is so much giving value to a person. Now, an artist, what happened? He was very degraded artist. He was having all bad habits, alcohol, and he was always drunk and all. So one day he was getting down from a bus, and one book distributor, he came and he gave Ishopanishad book, and in that the photo of Lord Vishnu is there. So he saw that picture. He is not interested in reading book. He is just interested in the picture. He is having all bad habits. So he just took the picture. He looked at it briefly because the artist, he wanted to know how this drawing. And then he saw the reclining of Anantasesh, and he felt attracted and tried to read the book, but he failed and he put it aside. And then later, months later, in a state of severe alcoholism. So everything was lost for him. He lost job, this, that, very terrible situation, and he was completely drunk. So he was having in a feverish state. Then he was completely becoming unconscious, and he understood that he is going to die now. So he was experiencing terrifying voices. They are cataloging all his sins. They are telling you did this wrong, you did this wrong, you did this sinful activity, all the details, and declaring him that you will be condemned to hell and no, you will be punished. Then he understood, now my time came, I am going to die. And at that critical moment, when he was about to, somebody was about to come and take him, at that critical moment, the image of Vishnu appeared in front of him. It's not a picture, but alive. The serpent hoods were moving. And Ananta says, Vishnu looked at him and smiled, and immediately all the voices vanquished, and then lights appeared, and he gained his consciousness. he understood, my God, I am saved from hell, and this is because of this picture only. He then searched 3 days and 3 nights for devotees, and when he found, he said, I found you at last. I am not leaving you anymore. And he just went into the temple. So this is actually how much bhakti is powerful. So this man subsequently tried to practice, sometimes succumbing and sometimes relapsing. He eventually passed away due to his drinking only. But Krishna saved him. But then a person must behave correctly afterwards. So this is a critical lesson. The contact with bhakti will save, but what we do after that contact determines the full results. So this real life story perfectly illustrates the power described by Jiva Goswami. One glance at an image connected to Krishna's internal energy was enough to intervene at the moment of death. He was given a chance. Of course, he didn't utilize it. That's a different story. So, yeah. So this is one part of it. We will. I'll just do a revision, and maybe next session we can continue because it's already too much to digest in one go. But I explained why we should, because anyway this Vaishnava didn't come only, it is going to come in further verses, but this is a topic theme of this section. So that's why even that didn't start, we also didn't start. So I discussed about glories of Bhakti. So then you will know that how dangerous it is to offend a Vaishnava, and we have to be very careful when we are dealing with Vaishnavas, because they are directly connected to Krishna, and how seriously Krishna is taking this whole thing. So I will just revise for you whatever we have discussed till now. So here we discussed, first section was about God is a person, and person, it's not an impersonal one. Personal means he have preferences, and who should according to adopt to the preferences? He will not adopt, we should adopt. That is clear, right? And then we discussed, even in the pure devotion, the statement also that is there, Anukulena Krishna, it should be in favor of Anukulena, it should be in favor for Krishna. And the goal should be not just being conscious of Krishna, but developing the consciousness of Krishna. That means being aligned with his desires and needs. Like mother is not just conscious of the child, the child exists. No, she is also conscious of its desires. So then the highest state is the state of unity with Krishna, fully aware with his. And then we discussed the role of Shraddha, and the reason why the obstacle for Shraddha is our ego. So ego has all objections when we want to do certain things. So we have to control it. So bhakti requires faith to act. Normal bhakti don't need, but pure devotional service need faith. And so here is, so the conflict with faith is ego resist fiercely when we are trying to surrender to Krishna, when we want to follow the Shastras. Because Shastras means surrendering to the right, surrendering the right to personally judge what is correct and what is wrong. So, and then The Guru is a living Shastra, and it's not a personality cult. And then the extraordinary power of bhakti, we have discussed how bhakti is so special, and in that we discussed four things. Even one time contact with bhakti is going to change, and then we discussed about indirect contact is also sufficient. Bhakti can, even the shadow of bhakti is sufficient, and even an offense that resembles bhakti can save. And then we discussed the story of a person, artist, who saw the form of Lord Vishnu, and then he got saved. So if you don't have questions, then I'll take more.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Thank you for the beautiful class. I have a couple of questions. I hope it's okay to ask.
Yeah.
Prabhuji, you had mentioned like that highest form of bhakti, like where you're in union with what the Lord's desires. So your desires are totally like aligned. Your thoughts and actions are aligned to the Lord. So I had read a few years back that of the five types of mukti, they are in Vaikuntha planets. The Sayujya mukti is. I mean, it's the Sri Vaishnavas regard this Sahaja Mukti to be what you just mentioned, like to be totally aligned, in thoughts and body and soul with the Lord. So I was wondering, are you able to shed some light on that, Prabhu? I mean, though we regard Sahaja, sorry, Prabhu.
Yeah. See, Yamunacharya, Ramanujacharya, none of our acharyas, they are not uh, they are not advocating Sahajya Mukti. But when they say Mukti, it is meant that you are going to the spiritual world. But because people get mixed up with Shankara philosophy and then Ramanuja philosophy, and slowly this concept came, this that you have to become one with the Lord, merge in Brahman, all this concept came. But that is not what Shastras are propagating, and the Vaishnava acharyas, they are not telling it. So these concepts of becoming one with Brahman and all, they came in between because of mixture with Shankara Sampradaya. It's not ours.
So you're saying that even Ramanujacharya, I mean, they don't have that understanding in their
No, no.
sampradaya that, like you mentioned now, to be in one with the Lord's desires and thoughts, that's the highest form of bhakti. So somewhere I had read that that's what they call as Sayujya, and, not the Mayavad understanding of Sayujya. So you think that's not true, Prabhu?
Yeah, one with the Lord means one with his desires,
Yes.
consciousness of. Yeah, that is there in every sampradaya. For us also, we are telling the same thing. Krishna consciousness means you have to be conscious of the Lord's desires, needs, trying to become one with Him. Like say, I was giving the example of a mother being conscious of the child. She is not that child is aware. She also knows what child wants. When the child is very small, she knows the child is happy with this, sad with this. That means she is conscious of the child, knowing everything what the child wants. So they are one in the sense of consciousness, but as a person they are separate also.
Sure, Prabhu. I have just one more question. I hope it's okay. Um, the other one was when you were defining, like, like you were saying that Shraddha is not necessarily a prerequisite for bhakti, but it is prerequisite to do sadhana bhakti. It made a lot of sense because we were recently doing, like, there's a NOD course going on in Bhakti Sangha, and we were discussing the chapter of eligibility, and I was wondering, why is it called eligibility? And then it makes a lot of sense that it is to, because it was titled to do devotional service, to do practical sadhana bhakti. The eligibility is faith, and you clarified it that it's not like a prerequisite for just bhakti, but for performing like actual devotional service. So that gave a lot of clarity, Prabhuji. Thank you very much for your beautiful and insightful class, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Namaskar. Thank you so much for the very beautiful class. Prabhuji, you have mentioned about the glories of bhakti. Prabhuji, when you mentioned it was like bhakti is so easy. But in Nectar of Devotion, Prabhu, like when I hear those classes, I feel it is so difficult, Prabhu. So is it actually easy or difficult? Because Srila Rupa Goswami said it's very difficult. So Dulaba.
Oh, Sudurlabha is not that it is difficult. Sudurlabha means it is rarely achieved. That means it is not everybody gets that opportunity to practice bhakti. So after very few people gets the opportunity to practice. So there the meaning of Sudurlabha is different. So and when we talk about it is very difficult in the sense it is for a people who are complicated it is complicated, who are simple it is very simple. You just have to chant Hare Krishna and then take prasadam, don't offend Vaishnava, sufficient. But our mind is very complicated, so if you just tell chant Hare Krishna, it cannot chant whole day. It wants little mobile also, little TV also, laptop also, internet also, and then food also, everything. So mind wants so many things. Just chant Hare Krishna, person can go back home back to God at Goloka. But our mind is complicated. That's why it becomes difficult. Okay, bro.
Thank you so much. So it is easy for those who are simple.
Yeah, who can live without mobile, they can practice bhaktiness. That is the criterion.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Hare Krishna, please accept my humble obeisances, Radha Pramod Prabhuji. Thank you for a very, very beautiful class and for explaining all the verses so beautifully and sharing the quotes from Srimad Bhagavatam. Really, the essence is, no matter what how much amount of bhakti we do, it never goes in vain. It's never wasted. Even as you mentioned, even the shadow of bhakti will give you so great benefit. Very, very grateful to you and looking forward to your association in the near future. Dear devotees, if there are no more questions or realizations, I would like to pay my obeisances to His Grace Radha Pramod Prabhuji and all the assembled devotees. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa
कृपा
sindhubhyascha
सिंधुभ्य च
patitaram
पतितानां
pavanebhyo
पावनेभ्यो
vaishnavebhyo
वैष्णवेभ्यो
नमः
नमो
Gaudiya
नमः
Vaishnavinda ki jai.
जय
Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
जय
His
Jai.
Grace Radha Pramod Prabhuji ki jai.
जय
Jai. Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
हरे
Mahataji.
Prabhuji.
कृष्णा
Dandat
हरे
pranam.
गो